Let's do this. Woo.
Good morning. It's day 6, Saturday, October the 5th. Had a nice stay at Devil's Rest Shelter last night. Very wonderfully constructed. Some beautiful appointments with those hand-hewn curved pieces of timber as a little archway. Thanks to the volunteers who made it for weary hikers such as us. I didn't sleep that well again. Hoping since we have a shorter day today, 14 and a half miles, that I'll be able to catch up on some more rest. So it's raining. Hoping it doesn't last. Probably not going to summit the Percy peaks today because of the conditions. See what today holds. Didn't expect to see this on the trail. Maybe this is in memory to some Cohos Trail pupper, but this is Bonnie's Pool. Little drinking hole. Long may you run, Miss Bonnie. All right, well, Nick and I are in our tents already. The day kind of got ahead of us. I think we went close to 15 miles today. Tomorrow we'll be moving into the Dixville Notch section and ending up at the Panorama shelter, ready to get some rest tonight for sure. I wouldn't say that it was as bad of a day as previous days, other than the Percy Peaks climb. That was pretty brutal, and that kind of ties into the lesson that I'm thinking about for day 6, which is the conditions around you in life can really affect how you're feeling, for positive or for negative. Today had 2 very different contrasts going on. The morning was rainy and cold. That climb was horrendously long and steep, and I just felt like I was in a pit almost of despair. Just, when is this ever going to end? And it's kind of funny, Nick and Chad and I have been saying a little prayer every morning to, guide us and give us safety for this journey. And one of the things I prayed for this morning was for, the rain to cease, not only today, but for the remainder of the trip. And at least for today, the sun came out and it got warm again. And I just noticed how my mood went from despair to hopeful and feeling some joy and everything. And so it's just a reminder that sometimes in life, the people that you're around, the things that you're devoting your time to, whether they're life-giving or life-sucking, can really affect your mood, whether you're aware of it or not. So we're letting our food rehydrate and hopefully going to get some much-needed rest. So we'll see y'all tomorrow. Okay, good morning. It is day 7, Sunday, October the 6th. Got some more trail news for you, trail update. I didn't mention it yesterday that, and the night before, that Nick had taken a couple of pretty bad falls on some slick rocks, twisted his knee fairly good, and he continued to monitor it. It was causing him pain and limping all day yesterday. And before bed last night, he said that if he woke up and it wasn't improving, that he would have to call it for the rest of this leg, because today's probably the last big day on the trail, with probably over 3,000 feet of climbing through the Dixville Notch section and getting through this Nash stream section. So he woke up this morning, it wasn't better, and so we parted ways, and I'm soloing it right now. It sucks, man. I didn't think I'd have to do any part of this alone, especially a day as hard as today. So Nick, I love you, brother. You're doing the right thing as well. Go get into town and meet up with Chad, and y'all get healthy, and we'll tackle this last section together. For the meanwhile, I've got like 19 miles and thousands of feet of climbing to get to the Panorama shelter. Let's do this. Finally got ourselves a moose on the trail, I think. Yeah. It might be a bull too. Can't tell. Yeah. There he is. Definitely a bull. I think there's a baby over here too. Right there. Go on, baby. Go back to mom or daddy. I don't want to get rammed. Well, that's got to be one of the wildest things I've ever experienced. Probably less than 100 yards to... I'll have to look back at the footage, but I think it was a bull moose. Just had short antlers growing. And the other moose, I don't think it was big enough to be its mate, so I want to say it was maybe a young, one of its young, but exhilarating, terrifying, just miles and miles from help. And up at the top of this mountain, no sounds, and you just see this black-brown mass in the middle of the trail, so much bigger than you. That young moose was like hopping down the trail with its gangly legs. It was funny. But they ducked back into the woods. That was just between Cathedral Meadow and there's another meadow coming up here. I'll have to put it down below. But wow, so glad I got to see one. I'm sorry, Chad and Nick, but at least I got some of it on footage. Another moose sighting. He or she's just in there. Oh, there he is. See him. Hey, buddy. What's it doing? It's like we're in a Mexican standoff or something. New Hampshire standoff. Haha. This guy is letting me get awfully close. Trying to give him space. Well, now he's peeing. She. Kind of think maybe got a limp. Poor baby. Well, moose encounter number 2 today. Just had a New Hampshire standoff with a female adult. She didn't seem aggressive. I think she may have had some kind of injury, or kind of seemed like she had a limp, but she was just right in the middle of the trail, and I spooked her, and she jumped up and went away a bit, and then stopped and looked at me. Tried to go forward, she would move back some, stop, look at me. It was one of the most surreal experiences ever. This is just like a gift from God to be able to see something like that out in the wild. Just continue to pray for safety, that I don't have a negative encounter, because I'm in the thick of it right now. This is wild and remote in every sense of the word. Just crazy. Well, finally made it to Baldhead Lean-To. Small but cozy. Not staying here, of course, but I might sit down for a 5-minute break or something. Fog rolling in up here in the trees. Well, just coming down off of Baldhead Mountain, which was brutal, by the way. I feel like I say that all the time, but man, it felt like that mountain was never going to end going to the top of it. But a little update on Nick. I got some service. Sounds like Nancy from the Stark Inn in Stark, New Hampshire, who picked Chad up, was able to, Chad and she were able to find Nick on the road he was walking and pick him up, and he's now at the Stark Inn with Chad. So glad to hear that. Hope he's resting up, because I need both of them to whip this thing. I'm ready to be done. Here you go, Anna. Me getting me getting emotional. Oh, tearing up thinking about my daughter. Oh, I miss her. I want to see her soon. Oh, get me to the shelter. Jeez. Oh. Almost there. Oh, that climb up Dixville Notch Gap was broken record again, but brutal. I'm cooked. Absolutely cooked. So I missed showing you the route yesterday for day 6, so I'm just going to show you all that we've covered grouped together in 2 days, day 6 and day 7. So the beginning of that stretch was the Devil's Rest Shelter, took the old summer club trail past the Percy Peaks, then took the Trio Trail past Pond Brook and Brook Falls, Sugarloaf Mountain Trail past the old Hermit Shelter, moved on to the East Side Trail past Devil's Jacuzzi, Pike Brook Trail, Godwin Notch Trail, up past the 2 meadows. That's where I saw the moose. I made that note beforehand, many moose paths. I definitely found one. Up to Baldhead Lean-To, took a break there, Kelsey Notch Trail down the mountain, took some ATV trails, did Dixie Bypass, and the Wilderness Link, quick detour to Table Rock, Three Brothers Trail down, along the Huntington Cascades, crossed Highway 26, New Hampshire State Highway, and then took the Sanguinary Ridge Trail up and around past Flume Brook Cascade, Sanguinary Summit Trail up to the peak, and then ending at Panorama Shelter. Ooh-wee, I'm looking worse for wear. What happens when you walk nearly 140 miles in 7 days? But anyways, this is a wrap for day 7, 19 some miles from Godwin Notch area to Panorama Shelter. I hauled butt today. And my body's feeling it. Since I was solo today, I didn't want to risk hiking in the dark. It just sounded like a terrifying nightmare. So that motivated me to go harder and faster than I thought I could do, what my body thought it could do. It's currently like mid to low 40s up here at the top of the shelter. Wind's blowing pretty gusty, so I might need to wrap up tonight. Sounds like Nick is addressing his knee, icing it, elevating it, getting weight off of it, which is good. Hopefully Chad's getting caught up on rest, because tomorrow I'm meeting him at Coleman State Park at the lodge that we reserved. I'm hoping to get there fairly early so that I can just spend as much time just laying down as possible. And just thinking about today, a lesson, and you know, it's real, since this is my third thru hike series where I do lessons, it would be really interesting to see if there's overlap, if I've said the same things or learned the same lessons before. I didn't have a chance to watch any of the other series before this, so if it is overlap, I'm sorry, but today's lesson, there's kind of multi-layers to it, is man, life is not meant to be done in isolation continually. I think if I had set on doing this thru hike solo, I probably would have been in the headspace to manage it okay. But since, you know, I planned this with my trail bros, that's been in my head, and once both of them got out of the picture, it was like very much an oh crap moment. Like, what's next? Like, am I next on the chopping block? Like, you don't realize it until the person's gone on the trail, that just even the person's presence, like even if you're not saying something, just knowing somebody is there is a form of security emotionally, especially when sleeping in shelters like this. Like, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of worried about sleeping in here by myself tonight in terms of critters. So I mean, I'm putting my food in a food box, a bear box down the way. But anyways, just Nick being gone today just made me realize that as much as I want to do things by myself, I think we're designed to do things in community with one another, and I need to remind myself of that whenever I want to be prideful and take care of things on my own or do things on my own. Now, the other layer to that, I'm sorry I'm so winded. It's here by myself at the top of a mountain. I think God maybe knew that I was going to struggle with that today, and blessed me with some really interesting terrain and the environment going up from Godwood Notch area to Panorama shelter, not Panorama, Baldhead Mountain and its shelter. Just the fog through the spruce and fir trees was just otherworldly, and getting both of those moose encounters was just a trip highlight for me. I mean, I'm so sorry, Chad and Nick, that you all didn't get to experience it, but I'm hoping if you all are able to make it with me on the last hitch, we'll get another one. But those little things brighten my day enough to keep my mind off of the challenge of being solo today. So hopefully my food's rehydrated enough here soon, and I'm gonna sleep for a long time, so can't wait for those cabins tomorrow. We'll see y'all in the morning.
He wants the gimp to get his camera for him. What kind of friend is that? Oh, look at that. Look at that poop bag. Ooh. Oh, golly. I got the eye of the tiger, and I'm ready to fight. Oh, why you take the camera from me?
What time is it? Or what day is it? Always good to be bear aware, berry aware.